Realtors, if your website on Lofty is not set up with the proper SEO in your hero section, then you could be leaving yourself harder to find on Google. So today what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually build out a hero section in our Lofty website from scratch. And if you don't know what a hero section is, don't worry, I'll help you understand that. But in short, it's gonna be what Google and the other providers use to recognize your website and what lane it should be in per se, right? So today I'm going to go through that. We're going to go ahead and build out our mobile side and our computer side or our desktop side. I'll show you guys how to do the imaging in it. I'm going to show you guys how to do the SEO optimization and make sure that you have a keyword inside that header section there. And you guys are going to have a full understanding of exactly how your header section should be set up in the Lofty CRM website. So without any further ado, let's jump right in. All right, guys, so we're starting off on the Lofty people page, but you're going to want to jump straight over to the website. And if you haven't set up your domain name yet, I'll show you guys how to do that in another video, but you're going to go ahead and click on your website, and then you're going to come over here and you're going to click edit website. This right here is the hero section, okay? So what we're going to want to end up doing here is we're going to need to edit this to obviously match your personalization and your geographical area, but the words that we're using in here, Google is going to use that for indexing your site. So we need to make sure that we have a keyword inside of here. So I'll show you guys where we set up our keywords as well, but let's just jump right into building this piece of the website. So this is called the hero section. And this is a very important section for SEO, and it's also the front-facing piece of your site, right? So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and edit that. So when you're hovering over this block, you'll see once again that it highlights. You can see the differences here, right? So you're going to let it highlight over this block, come over here and click the pencil, and that's going to open up this menu on the left-hand side where we can go ahead and edit everything. Okay, so once again, guys, we can choose the different types of backgrounds if we want. We can do a slideshow, a video, or an image. So for today, we're just going to do an image. That's what I use on my website. I don't want to put videos and stuff on there that could potentially bog the site down and make it slower to load. So when it comes to background images, I personally prefer images, but you can definitely use videos or slideshows if you want more of that movement on your page. There's also animation features that I'll show you here a little bit later in the tutorial or in some future tutorials that gives your site a little bit of movement. Lofty just added that, so it's pretty awesome. But let's do the first things first, and let's go ahead and adjust our image here. So you can see we have a desktop and a mobile image. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch back and forth to see which image fits each side best, right? So if you look here at the very top here next to your site name, you're going to have the clock right here, which is just showing the previous versions that you may have of your website. Then you have the computer screen, which is what the desktop version is. And then you have this little cell phone here. So if you click that, it's going to jump you into mobile mode. So you can now see what this looks like in mobile. And you're going to notice right away that it actually cuts off the house. So we're only seeing the middle of the house there, right? So we'd probably want to get a better image for that, so it looks a little bit better for them. And not only that, but these are just plain old stock images, right? And we want to be a little bit more custom, but we may not have the photographer to go out and take pictures, or you might want to use one of your listings, but you can generate this with AI. So what we're going to do is jump over to ChatGPT. And you can do, anybody can do this. You can do it on a free account. You can generate images, and the new ChatGPT image gen is actually pretty good. So what we're going to do is just give it a very basic prompt. This isn't one of those things where we need heavy prompt engineering because we're looking for stock photos, right? So you're going to come over here and click Tools, and then you can create an image, and that's just going to tell ChatGPT, hey, I want to create an image. And then you see some examples of prompts, and we're going to do a very simple prompt like that. So we're going to say, create an image of a traditional Denver, Colorado Victorian home. And what I'm doing is like, I'm specializing in my area, right? So if you want people to say, hey, that looks like my area, then think about what is the popular style of home or historical home in your neighborhood, or the area that you want to be promoting. Then you can go ahead and have it create a house like that, which is absolutely killer, because when we make these images on AI like this, there are images, there are intellectual property. So we don't have to pay for stock photos. We don't have to pay for memberships other than to the AI itself, but we can generate unlimited stock images for our presentations and our website and all that good stuff. So it basically turns us into our own our own graphics designer and our own photographer. So I'm going to say create an image of a traditional Denver, Colorado Victorian house in the springtime. And like literally, it doesn't have to be anything more than that. And what I'm going to do is give it a little tag here. I'm going to call it, say, stock photo. So that way it knows what I'm trying to create here, right? So let's just send this through and see what happens here. And we can drill this down. You're probably going to see that it's going to create me a 1x1 like square image. So what we can do is tell it to go landscape. You can even give it the dimensions that you want to have. So if you know exactly what the dimensions of the picture are that you want, you can go ahead and put this in there and it'll go ahead and create that image in that dimension for you. So like I suspected, this is actually going to give us like a portrait, which is kind of cool because guess what? We can use this for the cell phone side, right? So once this gets done generating the image, what I'm going to do is prompt it to create a landscape version or a 16:9, right? Which is our YouTube size, our thumbnail sizes and all that good stuff. And then it'll create that. And then we can go ahead and use those two images right on our website. And there you go. We've got a custom homepage on our website. And then from there, we'll just go start doing some of the text. And while we're waiting for this image to generate, let's jump over to Gamma. So for those of you that don't know about Gamma, check out gamma.app. This is an amazing piece of AI tools here that can create all of your presentations, but it also creates AI images. So if we want to just go ahead and see what another app would do, we don't have to use ChatGPT. We can come over here and generate our own image. So I can come back up here and I can go ahead and grab that same prompt and let's just test and see what model does better, right? So we're going to create an image of a traditional Denver, Colorado Victorian house in the springtime, stock photo. My style on here, and I like Gamma a little bit better because I kind of have these pre-selected functions that I can choose instead of having to remember to prompt exactly what I want on there. It makes it easier and faster for us. So you can see I chose photography, and then it gives us some tags down here that are perfect. We can choose our ratio. So let's go ahead and do this one in landscape, and let's choose our model. For me, I'm going to use Flux Context Pro. This is their brand new model, and it's pretty dope. So let's go ahead and check this out. Guys, Black Forest Labs is one of my favorite image generators. They are amazing. They have the Flux Pro and the Flux Context Pro now. And you can see, guys, like this is wild. And look how fast it was. While we're still over here at ChatGPT, and look at that. It wasn't able to generate the image of the traditional Colorado house due to a technical issue. So unfortunately, ChatGPT is having problems here, but this is why we always keep our options open, right? Not too impressed with ChatGPT on this. Their image gen is great, but it's hard to get it to do it continuously. So relying on something like that could potentially cause frustration. So have that backup, right? Have your Gamma right here open because check this out. Like these are good pictures right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab this picture. This does look like a Denver neighborhood, guys, and this is a beautiful Victorian home. So let's go ahead and just save this image right here. We're going to go ahead and save it. There's our first image. So now, since Gamma is just performing so well, why don't we go ahead and let's create our image. Whoops, I didn't mean to go that way here. Let's go back to image creation. Now let's go ahead and regen this image in portrait. Okay, so I'm just going to regenerate that. I'm going to leave the prompt the same, and it's just going to go ahead and generate us a portrait version. Now, it's probably going to generate an entirely different house, which is perfect because we don't want it to have the same house all over each side of the website, right? So here we go. Now we've got some portrait images here, and these are definitely following the prompt, guys. It's springtime, right? It looks great. Now, I know I'm doing this video here in June, so it's now technically almost summer, right? We're a couple of days away, but this is going to be awesome. So I like this one because it's really colorful. And this one's actually pretty good too. You can actually see a little bit more of the house. So let's go ahead and just use that one. So we can go ahead and click download this image, and then it's going to download the image. So now we've got both images generated. So let's jump back over to the Lofty editor here, and we're going to go to our desktop image first. So you just go ahead and click that little pencil in the middle of the screen, then click replace. And then you're going to come over here and grab the image that you want to use, double click on that. It does let you crop it if you want to, but in this situation, we're going to just let it go, and we're going to click OK. And now it's brought that in there, and now we just click add. And then there you guys go. You're going to see that's in the background now. Now it's a little dark, right? Well, this is because we have a background opacity layer attached here. So if I unclick that, you can see it gets really bright. Now it's like, oh, hey, great, that looks awesome. But notice how the words kind of, the words have an issue. It makes it harder to read the letters because you're reading it on top of an image like this. So what we want to do is we can enable that here, but we can actually control how much we have by clicking that little checkered box on the bottom. You see if I slide that all the way over, it does. So what I'm I'm going to do is I want to see where EXP influence becomes really easy to read while the image is still very clear of what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and settle right there. You guys can choose whatever's best for you on this, right? But there you go. This is a good start to the background of my website, right? Now, guys, I'm not a graphics designer. You guys know this, but with AI, it does make it pretty easy for us to still be able to do something that, you know, can attract attention and people say, oh yeah, this looks like a house in Denver. Like, let's continue to search this website, right? So now let's go ahead and do the mobile image. And here we're going to do the same thing. We're going to click replace. We're going to grab our portrait image there, make sure it's cropped good, click OK, and then add that. And then now we're going to switch over and we're going to see what that looks like. Guys, see how much better that looks? Like way better than just seeing the center of a house, right? Now we can actually see the house, not the full thing, but you get what you're looking at and it looks great. So we're going to go ahead and keep that. And now we're going to move on to the most important part of all of this, okay? The content. All right, you're going to see that this says EXP influence. Yours may say something else, but this is really important. So first and foremost, under the font section here where you can choose your font, you're going to see your sizes. You're going to see a little H here to the side, but it's defaulted on H2. If you switch this to H1, that stands for header 1. And this is what Google's looking for when they're doing their indexing, okay? So if we click on that, it changes our font to 28 pixels. And then it leaves us in that head 1. So now what I can do is I can put in what I need to put there. And we're going to want it to be a keyword of some sort. So, and it has to align with the keyword that we're using inside of Lofty. So what you're going to want to do is let's go ahead and save this. So we're just going to hit publish. And then now this is saved. And you're going to jump over to SEO. Okay, if you haven't gone into the SEO section, I'm still making a video on this one as well, but this is where Google's going to index your site. So this is extremely important for us to fill this out, okay? So you're going to see here business or brand name. Mine says EXP influence, but you could put your business name in there if you want. You can just say Adam Gillespie Realtor if you want. Now that's going to be your business or brand name. Here you're going to choose your service areas, right? So if I want to choose Denver, Colorado, which, guys, I'm on a demo account that's not hooked up to my MLS, so it's not going to let me see my service areas, but you're going to put your service areas in there. So, for example, let's just say I've got this one here in New York. I can add another area, and I want you to add as many areas as you can on here, guys, okay? Wherever you work, right? How cool would it be to be a realtor in all of these locations? I would have fun traveling, I'll tell you what. But you can just keep adding your areas. They let you add up to 5. So you're going to go ahead and add all 5 areas that you can, okay? And then you're going to go down here and they give you 5 keywords, but the keywords are limited in length, so we can't do like very long tail keywords. So if you're thinking like, well, what do I use as a keyword? Well, the easiest way is just to open up a new tab in Google and search for something like homes for sale in Denver, right? Now, this is a pretty obviously a highly searched term, and there's going to be a lot of competition on this keyword. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom of my Google results, and I'm going to see other high search terms that could be potential keywords that we're going to use. So single family homes for sale in Denver, homes for sale in Denver under 300,000, homes for sale in Denver, Colorado by owner, cheap homes for sale in Denver, Colorado, new homes for sale. So you guys can see, we can see what the other people are searching. So this is like an easy, free, cheap, a free way to go ahead and try to do your SEO research, right? You could say real estate expert in Denver, right? Jump into there. You can see here, we've got real estate expert in Denver reviews, best real estate expert in Denver, top real estate agents in Denver, top producing real estate agents in Denver. So you could do any of these that you want, but they have to be in this section here. So let's just go ahead and say Denver real estate pro, right? Like, so I could go ahead and make sure you spell that right, because obviously it's going to go and be indexed. So Denver Real Estate Pro, right? So if I go ahead and click enter, you're going to see that it brings it into this little box here. So now I've saved that keyword. So now Google can see Denver Real Estate Pro and say, okay, this is real estate related website. Like here's one of the keywords, right? So it's going to make you easier found. Now I know that we can get into the mud when it comes to SEO optimization inside our website, especially with how competitive the keyword environment is for us realtors. So there are apps out there that you can use to go ahead and do your keyword research. You want to find something with high searchability, but low competition. That's your best bet. Long tail keywords are better than short tail keywords, but we're going to work with what we can here just to make it simple so you guys can understand what the value is on this. Okay. So you're going to set your other 4 keywords up. So you could basically, just say Denver Realtor. Like these are short, bad keywords. Don't take these keywords. They're, like I said, you can do a little bit more research on that side of the thing. But we can say Denver real estate agent, stuff like that, right? We end up getting to 5 keywords there, and then you can save it. So now these are the keywords that we can use in our website, and Lofty will recognize that, and it's going to help us get better placement. So we're going to use Denver Real Estate Pro as the keyword that we're going to use for this. So let's go back to the editor now. All right, so we're back in the editor, and you go back here, highlight your block, click the pencil again, and then you're going to come over here to the content. And then let's go ahead and change that. So we can just put our name in here, right? You can put Adam Gillespie, and then I'm going to hold shift and hit enter, and that's going to drop it down. And we're going to say Denver Real Estate Pro. Okay. Now what I've done is I put that keyword in there. So this is going to be really, really good. You'll see in the SEO editing section on Lofty, it's going to kind of give you a checklist of things that you need to do. This is one of those things on the checklist that a lot of people get confused on because they can't ever get their SEO optimization because we need to have one of those keywords in this header section. Okay. And then from there, once we've got that there, just so you guys know, we can change the placement of it. You can make it center based. You can make it on the right hand side if you want. I like the left hand side. It just looks a little bit better for me and more uniform. But you notice how anytime I switch it, it comes up from the bottom. That's the animation feature I was talking to you guys about, right? So that's going to pop up there. It's going to make your website look cool. You can change your font. If you're like, hey, I don't like that font, I'd rather use something else like this. You can do that and change that font. You can say, you know what? I want this to be even bigger. You can do that. Just always make sure you're still on the H1 there. Let's go ahead and blow that way up. There we go. Right. So you can make a lot of the changes to it. You can change the color of the text as well. So if you wanted it to be orange, you could have it be orange. If you wanted it to be green, you can have it be green. Just make sure it's readable. That's the key, right? And then in your subheading, this is going to be your H2. You can use this and say, discover a place you'll live. You can put your tagline in there, whatever you want. You can even make that SEO keyword heavy as well, right? You can say your Denver real estate agent, right? Like pretty cool stuff. So it's all about customization. And guys, quick pro tip, if you're like confused at what you should be putting in here and you don't know, you guys in Apex Elite AI, I teach you guys about teaching ChatGPT about your business and your speaking style and all that good stuff. You could literally go into ChatGPT, bring those documents in, create your clone, have it train, like give it a role prime to say, you will act as an expert web designer and web developer and help me optimize my real estate website, right? And then you could go in there and paste the screenshot and say, what should I have in these sections? And it'll give you ideas. So it's super easy to do this stuff now, all thanks to AI and thanks to image gen and all that awesome stuff. All right, guys. So what we did is we went ahead and we got our name in there. We've got our keyword optimized there. We set our keywords up, and this page is pretty much ready to go. This is our hero section here. It is looking good. If you want to change some things like turn the animation off, you can do that under the style tab here. You can just toggle that on or off. You can do spacing after the blocks. So what that is, if you look between these two blocks and I spread the spacer out, it's going to make that block bigger or smaller, right? And same thing on the mobile side. And then you can even change the style of this too. So let's say you're like, this is all really good and all, but I wish there was a search bar right there, right? Well, we can go over here and change that, and now it's got a search bar there. Now, one thing you're going to notice is that when I changed it, it got dark again, right? So we just come right back over here and grab that, click on the checker box there, and then you're just going to drag that back down to where you can still very easily read, and you can see the picture, right? So there it is. Pretty awesome stuff, guys. So that's the basics of your hero section, which you can see right here. It says hero, and it'll even tell you what it means here. If you click that question mark, it's going to talk to you all about the hero block, right? The hero block refers to the first section that's typically seen on an IDX website with a large image and text on top. Because of its prominent location on the homepage, it's important to block to... It's an important block to configure correctly. So they do give you instructions here, but guys, I just walked you through it. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to hit me up. But that, in a nutshell, guys, that is our hero section on our Lofty. In the next video, we're going to jump into all the different pages that we can create, and we'll just build out a whole website together in a series of videos. All right, guys, there you have it. That's exactly how you do your hero section in the Lofty CRM. Follow this step by step and you will be set to go. In the next couple of videos, I'm gonna just keep going through the website. I know I told you guys I was gonna do a series on this, but I figured why not just build a website out right in front of you guys so you can see exactly how it's done. So in the next video, we're just gonna jump down to the next block and I'm gonna show you guys how to hook all that up. Until next time, make sure to like and subscribe if you found value from this and you wanna crush it on Lofty, and I'll catch you on the next one.